All right, welcome back here on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. We welcome back a recurring guest from Kansas City, 41 Action News Sports anchor and reporter, Hayley Lewis. Hayley, thanks again for coming on. The last time we talked, we were leading up to a Super Bowl. Now, it feels like in Buffalo, it's kind of like the Super Bowl part two with the expectations here. AFC Championship game, leading up to the AFC Championship game. What is it like in Kansas City? What is the feeling going around town?
Well, I remember last time we talked on here, I was a lot more arrogant than I am this time around. I had a lot more confidence. And when we were having that time, I was like, this is just another week. The Chiefs get down in the game. It's okay. They're always going to figure it out. So in Kansas City, it's a little uncharted territory. It's been uneasy here the past couple of weeks, especially dropping 2 in a row. That's very uncharacteristic, especially for Andy Reid and especially for Patrick Mahomes, who had been so good in September. But the Bills are coming to town and the Bills have been playing good. And trust me, the Chiefs have not forgotten the taste that the Buffalo left in their mouths during that AFC Championship game. And they're fully expecting a Bills playoff caliber team to be here. Actually, I think it was special teams coordinator Dave Tobe who said that today in the press conferences that, this is going to be a team that's coming back with a lot of veterans. And he was specifically talking about, special teams saying there's only one rookie, but then also alluding to the rest of the team. And then Josh Allen, our defensive coordinator, was talking about Josh Allen just being this talent who's completely come into his own, and he just keeps getting better and better. So the Chiefs, I want to say, they realize the challenge that's coming to Kansas City. This is a big deal. This is a huge AFC matchup, and arguably 2 of the best teams in this conference right now.
Now, I know, the Chiefs are 2-2 right now, and it is early on in the year, but what do you make of that record, considering this is obviously a team that's had success, great success, coming off playing in the Super Bowl to now be where they're at? Like, what's kind of gone on since then?
I guess there's 2 ways to look at it, right? You think, okay, maybe they just got themselves in a hole. This is a fluke. They're going to figure it out. This is the Chiefs. They're still the Chiefs. And then you look at it from the other half of the perspective, and you're like, okay, maybe the Chiefs aren't what everyone was thinking, because especially after the Super Bowl and everything that happened, obviously it didn't end well for Kansas City, but people still looked, they got Patrick Mahomes, they got Andy Reid. Look at the offensive weapons he has. He's got Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, everyone's, majority again of the team returning. And of course, their general manager, Brett Veach, just continues to add amazing talent to this roster. So you're thinking, okay, are they out of the hole? Was that a hole? Or is this revealing the true identity that maybe the Chiefs aren't the dynasty, but simply a 2-year run? And I hate to say that. I mean, I'm Kansas City born and raised. Wow. It's hard not to be biased. Yeah. But, this is the time where Patrick Mahomes said, we're not out of the hole yet. So it's going to matter what happens on Sunday. Are they going to turn it around? Are they going to be back to the Chiefs caliber, Super Bowl caliber team that people know here in Kansas City? Or is this the short end of an era?
I will say, I feel like, as someone that's not covering the team in terms of, you're obviously with the team, the Chiefs, I always have the belief that the Chiefs can just flip a switch. Mm-hmm. Right. Is that not the impression you're getting out of this year's team?
See, I always thought that too. And I remember I was in Baltimore for the Ravens game, and it didn't feel like the close score that it actually was. And I remember thinking, okay, it's fine. It's the Chiefs. Oh, you gave Patrick Mahomes 2 minutes? Joke's on you. Okay, well, then they go down and fumble it. And now the whole game's changed. And the Chiefs have now lost to Lamar Jackson for the first time. I mean, that's the first time Mahomes has ever dropped a game to him. So, and then I don't think anything helped the next week losing. So it's hard to say, but definitely people here are wondering, what's going on? Is this going to bounce back? Because like you said, that switch, you always thought it was something you could just flip. It didn't matter how much time Mahomes had. He could always pull it out and make it work. But it's a little scary when you start doing these costly picks and turnovers and fumbles. And it's just like, who's the Chiefs' identity this year?
And that's crazy because around here, it's a battle between, this is the biggest game in franchise history that can finally Josh Allen and the Bills have to get over the Mahomes hump. They lost only 4 games last year. 2 of them were to the Chiefs. And then it's also the balancing act. It's week 5. Don't panic. Even if they lose, it's not a big deal. It's only, around here, it has been cliche after cliche about it's the most important game because it's the next game and it's just one game. I mean, is there, you kind of talked about it, is there a little bit of that sense of panic in Kansas City now with a 2-2 season, 2-2 start, and Buffalo coming to town?
I love to hear that everyone else is still scared of the Chiefs. That's great. Like, let's just keep it that way. Keep the whole league under wraps that this thing's all going to turn around.
It's still Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And you're right. And I'm being a pessimist here, but I think what the team has alluded to and what a lot of coaches have talked about and players is it's not yet time to hit the panic button, but more so the reset button. So maybe this is the time where, hey, you can't be worrying about your losses in September. Well, now we're to October. So this is where you start to really figure it out. If you rather lose now, win later, I get that mentality. But yeah, I definitely don't think they're panicking quite yet. If they are, they're doing a great job of hiding that. I do think fans here in Kansas City are very easy to write Kansas City off because they've been so burned in the past before. But I don't think it's panic quite yet. I think a lot is going to be told when they meet on Sunday night. And like you said, it's a big matchup for Bills fans. It's a huge matchup for Chiefs fans. They know the talent that Buffalo has. They know what they're bringing, especially against a defense that has been struggling and an offense that is amazing. But if you have these costly mistakes, you can't out-offense the defense that the Bills are going to present.
You bring up that defense too. Like, what has gone wrong? Like, why have they been playing so uncharacteristically, we'll say?
Well, there's a lot of key injuries, right? So they've been plagued with some pretty big key injuries. You got Chris Jones, this defensive end now who was always on the interior, who's been moved outside, and that's new. And he's been dealing with injuries. You also have Frank Clark, who's a defensive end who's been amazing in the past couple of years, but also been plagued with injuries. He's dealt with one hamstring injury week 1 that kept him out. And then I think it was week 3, the other hamstring, totally opposite leg, kept him out. So he's only played 3 games so far. And that's a key player that they need. Now, that's not all the defensive issues, right? They still have some issues in the secondary. They still have some depth issues that they need to address, especially at linebacker. You got Willie Gay, who's this amazing, violent linebacker who makes you scared to cross the field. But he's been out and he's finally coming back. So hopefully that helps when you have those. Yeah. Hope that helps you guys. But that was something that the defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo was talking about today. He's like, you can't even really assess this team because we haven't all been healthy at once. Not an excuse, but just an observation. Also, maybe players playing selfishly and not playing as much for their personal stats, but maybe for the team overall and what they need to do and playing cohesively. So there's a lot of things to address. The red zone was finally one of those things addressed last week that they actually did good with. So that was great. Baby steps, But yeah, it's just like I said, uncharacteristic like things going on here in Kansas City. It's kind of like we're in the what's it called in Stranger Things, the upside down world, or
Stranger Things. Yeah,
I was gonna say I forget now, but it's something like that.
We're in the Twilight Zone. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
And where's Patrick Mahomes play? I was asking Micah Hyde today, just the fact of when Mahomes came on the scene, it was like I remember Micah Hyde saying like, watching the film, like your jaw drops and like that, obviously he keeps defensive coordinators up. Obviously that hasn't changed, but it's almost like we've become numb to the fact of like anytime Mahomes doesn't have 400 yards and 4 touchdowns in a game, we're like, oh, Mahomes is mortal. Like what the heck's going on with it? Right. So where has his play been? Because again, like we're here in Buffalo, obviously keeping an eye on the Chiefs because of the big picture in the conference. What has it been like there?
Well, I think the thing is people know how good Mahomes is, and you have to understand that he can't carry an entire team on his back for forever. But there have been many plays where we see those picks, those interceptions, and you think, oh, okay, well, for instance, not to bring up or blame this guy, but Marcus Kemp, it went off his hands. He should have caught the ball, and it was intercepted in the Chargers game week 3. And that's a situation where it would have been an amazing throw. And I think that was on a no-look pass or something.
That was a no-look one, yeah.
Yeah, he absolutely should have caught it. It's not on Mahomes, but yet you look there and you go, Mahomes threw a pick. Oh, my God, Mahomes he's mortal. He messed up. And it's the truth of the fact, but also people are going to start learning how he plays his games, and he's going to have to evolve that game. But there are moments, that you see happen where you're still like, okay, this dude is insanely talented. Maybe it's just one of those years where he just needs to, calm it down a little bit and get back on the rails of everything. But he's still Mahomes. He's going to Mahomes. Like Brady's going to Brady. Mahomes is going to Mahomes. I don't have doubt in him doing his thing. It's just more or less, okay, how quickly can you guys turn this around? Because this could go south really quick.
We call it the Josh Allen experience here Like when Allen's going off and doing his thing, you're like, oh, there's the Josh Allen experience. So Mahomes good at Mahomes, Brady good at Brady. Yeah. But we got to talk to Josh this week, and we asked him about playing at Arrowhead, and he called it one of the most hostile places he's ever played. And I would have to imagine, what do you expect the atmosphere is going to be like? Because obviously the Bills played there for the AFC Championship game. That was 20% capacity, but still, Allen was talking about just how loud even that was a couple months ago or 9 months ago.
Yeah, it's a home field advantage for sure. That's an understatement, probably. One of the rowdiest, loudest stadiums, in the NFL, and they make it their purpose to be miserable for opposing teams coming in here. And I can never imagine being on the opposite side of that, because those fans, they're brutal. And they're going to get you. But also, the environment, they just egg it on. The Chiefs players will egg it on exactly at the right time. And Arrowhead's really good about getting quiet when Mahomes needs them to get quiet. And it's almost as if it's just this massive, like you want to say 100,000, person crowd that just is Mahomes' extension of cheerleaders, who just ebbs and flows with whatever he says on the field. It's a hostile environment. I don't know how anyone hears anything. I can barely hear myself during pregame when they start letting in fans. I'm just glad I don't play on the field. It's loud enough from where I stand.
Yeah, Josh Allen, was asked if there's a player that, because this is going to be a first real true road test for the first time since 2019, obviously because of the pandemic year. Yeah, just bizarre. And then Josh even said 17,000 was loud. It's going to be completely different. But he also said that he hasn't played in that. Now, Stephon Diggs said he has played in games when he was in Minnesota where he said it's so loud, it's silent, where you literally can't even hear. Well, he said it's in the sense of you could only hear your own thoughts. Yeah. It's just you. And he also is the one that he's I love trying to silence those hostile crowds and that kind of a sense. And that he's the one that gets into it with the crowd, that he feeds off those hostile crowds. I guess it's Bills, it's Chiefs. It's not only that, it's in Arrowhead, but it's also the Sunday night feel. Does that, people would lose their mind in Buffalo when they have all day to drink leading up to a game. Is this a whole other level?
Tables, a whole day.
It's a lot of time to smash tables.
Yeah. Exactly.
Is that what it's going to be like? I guess I've only been to a couple, Sunday night atmospheres. I was at Pittsburgh in 2019. I'll be on the sidelines on Sunday night. Earplugs. Is that what I need to be prepared for?
Absolutely. I cannot say that there has been anything I've experienced like a Sunday night football game at Arrowhead Stadium. In all my years of doing different sports and being around many NFL, I thought nothing could tap going to an Alabama game, but Arrowhead just puts it to sleep. It's insane. And the energy is so raw. And I think that's a really good thing that Diggs said. It makes it almost silent, because the only thing that you can do is hone in on what's going in between your own ears, because everything else is so loud and rowdy. It is an atmosphere that I wish for you that you were cheering for the other team, because it's fun to experience when you're on the Chiefs side of things. But when you are on the opposing side, you ain't welcome. It's just, they make it real clear.
Yeah. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah. So it's a cool environment. It's definitely, and it's a thing that a lot of people here are looking forward to too. Like you said, you got the whole day to party and get ready for it. And there's a lot of people that tailgate here and get ready for this game, but also it's a big matchup. It's a primetime matchup. It's another opportunity for these two teams to show, hey, we are, the Chiefs weren't good for so long, and neither were Buffalo. You got two teams that are up and coming with two, again, dynamic young quarterbacks who are making a name for themselves. This is the new, the era to watch football, and it's really cool that it's happening in a primetime situation.
That's very true. Any quick predictions for the game? Anything you're thinking? Expectations?
Where is this airing again? Who's going to see this? I need to make sure I know my audience.
Yeah.
Okay, if I'm in Kansas City, so we're going to act like I'm not, and this is not a YouTube thing for the Bills.
Okay.
Let's say in Kansas City, I would say 32-28. I'm going to say that, 28. Got to do my math.
Yeah, you get there.
Yeah.
And then if I'm in Buffalo, I would give Buffalo 42-30.
Ooh, 42. That
wow.
So in
That
your
is what I think
sports
it's gonna be
with
more
your
like.
sports reporter hat on, with your
Yeah.
non-biased sports reporter, big J journalist hat on, you are very concerned about this Chiefs defense.
Wow.
I can read between the lines.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Let me just put it that way. I don't like what's happening, and I want things to be better. I want to go to the.
That's the fan. That's the Chiefs fan in you.
You wanna go to LA in
Yeah.
I want to
February?
go to. It's on
Yeah.
NBC, and I want to
Yeah.
go to LA, and I want it to be the third Super Bowl in a row. I mean, there's a lot of wants I have, but
We get it. We want to go to one.
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. There you go. I've had two, so at least you guys can get one. But yeah, should be a fun time.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on again. Hayley Lewis from KSHB, NBC station in Kansas City, 41 Action News. Appreciate it, Hayley. Again, thanks for coming on. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Big game on Sunday. Buffalo Plus YouTube channel will lead you all the way up to coverage. I'll be there. Jenna will be in studio holding it down. Hayley, thanks again.